Hello, my name's Lionel Bucket. I'm a builder. I've been building things since I was a little kid, and then when I got to be a bit bigger kid, I became a carpenter and a bricklayer and built lots of houses and had a building company. And then I've been building cabins in the Blue Mountains for about the last 4 or 5 years. And this last thing I'm building is a treehouse, which is funny because it's the first thing that I built was a treehouse. When I was 11, I built tree houses with mates of mine. I had a 5-story tree house. And now I think I'm sort of like back to where I've started in a way, because I'm up a tree again. I'm further up a tree than I was when I was a kid. Some of the reason that I'm up this tree, and I had a thought just came in my mind, I want to build a tree house. So then I had to search the bush and find a spot with a big tree, because you've got to have a big tree, because it's got to be an impressive tree. And around here there aren't that many big trees, and it also needed a good view. So this tree, after about a week of searching the bush, is the one that I settled on. Lots of people want to know how high we are. On the corner near the spa, we're about 35 feet off the ground. But if you took a leap off the veranda, you could leap for about 60 feet. And when I decided to build a tree house, I came across some doco on a tree house in South America. And the local Indians that built the tree houses reckoned that the higher the tree house, the higher the status. So I thought I'd better make it a really high tree house so it's got lots of status. And that was a bit of a blue. When I got up the first pole to measure it, I only got about 2/3 of the way up the ladder and thought, oh my God, I've stretched just a bit too far this time. But now I'm up here after all the adrenaline hits of being able to get a platform this high and not be killed in the process. The adrenaline's dropping. It's easy to work longer than 4 hours a day, which is about the max under high stress. So yeah, and it's good because it pushes my skill levels beyond their usual limit, and that's where you want to go in a project to get flow. And as soon as you got flow, then you're enjoying every bit of what you do, and what comes out of your hands is almost like light beams of energy to make something beautiful. I can't exactly say where the treehouse sprang out of. It sprang out of dreaming. I'll dream about buildings and I'll create images in my head of buildings, and then I'll challenge myself to be able to create what normally people wouldn't consider that they could create. So I'll spend a fair bit of time considering how to go about making something that isn't usually possible, and usually I'll work out a way to do it. So that's the inspiration, is to push beyond limits. I've built a lot of houses in a lot of wild places, 120 houses probably while I was being a builder, running a building company. And this is me building things that I want to build rather than looking out for other people and building their dreams. So I've got a lot of practice at building dreams. So this is a very, very dreamy thing. On 620 acres of land that was an original land grant to a bloke called Lieutenant Bowen. It's sort of a jewel in the middle of the World Heritage Blue Mountains and WOLLEMI National Park. It's right on the border of both, and it's extra special because Mount Wilson over there is, was a volcano, and where the lava flowed from the volcano, that's where the rainforest is. So the Blue Mountains is usually dry country, sandstony country, which is where this treehouse is, but the rich bush that you can see around it is where the lava flows were. It's rich soil. And that's why there are coachwood trees down the bottom that the sawmillers over the last 200 years have come to get. So those giant trees that you can see down in the ravine are trees that were here before white people were here, and some of them have probably been here for 600, 700, 800 years, possibly longer. There's some monster trees down there. The other thing about the treehouse and this place is that it's very therapeutic. It's almost like meditating without actually having to concentrate on meditating, just by being here. On pretty well any day, as long as it's not windy, you can hear the water in the ravine, you hear the water rushing over the rapids. It's pristine water that comes out of springs from under the mountains in the World Heritage Area. You can drink it, you can swim in it, you can dive down and you can see all the way to the bottom of it when you're down there. There's a giant swimming hole. The other wonderful thing you can do here is watch the change in nature. One of my friends that comes here to study geology says, "Hey Lionel, look, you've got clouds forming on your place." The rainforest gives off moisture that turns into clouds, and you can actually watch clouds forming. You can see the eucalyptus coming off the trees around lunchtime. You can see rain from above here, which is pretty amazing. You usually look up to see rain. Well, here you can watch rain from the top going down. And the light changes are just stunning. Last night I watched a thunderstorm from here, the lightning, just beautiful. And the cliff faces are just beautiful with different lights on them. Sunrise, sunset, through the middle of the day. Butterflies flying around the tops of the trees. You can actually look at the tops of the trees, of gum trees around the treehouse, see them flowering, see the butterflies, see little birds. You're kind of up there with that area of nature that you wouldn't really see unless you were watching it on a doco on nature on TV. So it's sort of got everything, this place. Everyone loves a treehouse.